Action, Jackson. Alright. So we're pretending that I've just been asked to teach the group, or to improve the group's edging skills. And one of the fundamental beliefs that I have about edging, or a person's ability to edge the skis, is that they're able to keep moving down the fall line and also to maintain alignment over their feet. So that they can work both of their edges rather than becoming dependent on only one edge. So what I want to do first is I want to talk a little bit about what I mean when I say that we're in alignment over our feet. And so when we're alignment over our feet, we've got two halves of our body that are divided. It just took me and just divided me down my zipper. And so what I want to do is I want to take everything that's on this side of my zipper and balance it over this foot. I want to take everything that's over this side of my zipper, including this leg, and balance it over this foot. And so in order to do that, since I'm standing on a hill, I've got my uphill foot that's ahead of my downhill foot, just because like if I was standing on a stair, I'd have one foot ahead of the other, just biomechanically. That's how my body works. So my inside half, or my uphill half here, needs to lead my downhill half by the same amount that I have this lead right here. So I've got about 4 inches between my toes. I just need to make sure that I mirror that in my stance. So anything that I do to deviate from that will alleviate cuff pressure and balance on this leg, or if I go this way, it'll alleviate cuff pressure and my ability to balance over this foot. So I'm going to take that same alignment and go across the hill, and my success here is going to be if I can cut 2 arcs across the hill, just like this. Going back. I'd have the group try one each way, just like I did, and I give feedback, so you can come down here. Alright, so I just focused on stance. We're all able to traverse across the hill and maintain a stance that kept us in balance over both of our feet. And one thing that we wanted to realize about our turns is that our flexion and extension happen at specific points in the turn. So if this is our transition right here, a little bit down. We've got a transition here and a transition here, the turn apex here. I'm going to extend all the way through here. My outside leg is going to be its longest at the outside, or at the apex of this turn. That leg is going to shorten again for the next transition and become its shortest right here. So you go long leg to short leg, outside leg to inside leg. So as it would happen, the average of those two is right in the transition here. So I should maintain a position where I'm equally flexed. So right here I've got a long leg, short leg, I've got a long leg, short leg, and right in the middle I'm just medium flexed, right? Just as the average of those two. So I can incorporate that into my traverse here, and it'll actually help me to stay balanced over both of my feet, because I'm allowing my hip angle here to match my feet. So I'm not out of balance laterally. So this stuff gets us balanced fore and aft. If I allow my hips to level to my feet, it keeps me in balance laterally over my feet too. So I'll just I'm gonna be mid-flexed. So extended, flexed all the way, medium flex in the middle. Do a couple more. Okay, so one of the products of, we can always just edge the ski. A lot of people will go through the turn and they will get to a point where they'll just kind of tip into the hill and edge really hard on the outside ski. And a lot of them will actually carry that all the way through the finish, but we know that in our skiing, our speed control is controlled by turn shape. So we want to make sure that we're actually actively shaping the ski from the top of the turn. And the way that we do that is to edge the ski, but then also continue to move with it and extend off of it at the top of the turn. So in order to extend through the top of the turn, I had to go through that posture of having that medium flex at the middle, so that I have somewhere to work from. Okay. If I was standing straight up as I was going into the turn, I wouldn't be able to extend. The only thing I'd really be able to do would just be to tip. So what we want to do here, I'm just going to try this on the outside ski. I'm going to not really focus so much on what I'm doing with the inside ski, but just for now I want you to focus on what you're doing with the outside ski. And from a position of even flexure and balance over both your feet, I want you to extend off of this leg and begin to edge the ski by rolling the buckles. So roll the buckles as you're extending this leg, and your goal is to time the extension through the apex along with the buckle roll. So I don't want you to get to the apex or a position before the apex and already be fully extended. I just want you to extend all the way until you're in the fall line, and then you can just turn out a bit and stop, and we'll try it the other way. I'm going to try this across the hill. Once I'm across the hill, I'm going to extend and roll my buckles at the same time into the apex. It'll look something like this. Alright, so I noticed that some of you, this is going to happen, I need you guys to be evenly flexed, so that includes your spine, your ankles, knees, hips, and spine, right? So we talk about flexing, extending through the ankles, knees, hips, and spine. Okay, so our medium flex point needs to be right here. So if we start here, we've given up some of our ability to extend, and therefore flex. So let's start out like this. Let's try it back the other way, and really focus on making this extension of your new outside leg last all the way through the fall line. Pay it out really slow. Alright, here we go. Extending and the buckle roll. You want to go like halfway across over there? Alright, so to this point we've had our inside leg on the ground as we were going around the turn. I want to kind of up the ante a little bit, and I'm going to actually come at this with my inside leg or my downhill leg, lift it off the snow, traverse across the hill on my upper leg, and I'm going to really focus on that same extension buckle roll with the outside leg. And if I roll in too quickly, or if I start to move my body too soon, I'll just fall over. So I'm really trying to stay in lateral balance over that uphill leg as I'm making the extension movement and the buckle roll so that I'm facing the top of the turn. So I'm flexed through here. I'm going to extend and roll the buckle. Okay, so a couple things I'm watching for here as well. I saw a couple people tip in. Saw a couple people coming around like this and try to get the turn to happen. The thing you have to realize, this is really just normal skiing, okay? So as I'm flexed over this leg, I've also come through just the last turn, and so I've skied into a countered relationship that's going to match the turn shape that I'm going to have. So my legs will have steered against me to the point where my body is roughly aimed at the next turn apex. So when you start out, guys, just don't start out right across the hill like this. You need to be just like you were when you would have finished the last turn, so that your body has something to steer with. So I'm going to try one with the other leg. Here we go. I'm extending and buckle roll. Alright, so we've done this on a couple outside ski turns. Now it's time, let's put them together. So what we actually want to do is we want to do we'll do a level 2 outside ski turn, but keeping this in mind, okay? And so really patient extension movement through the top. And guess what we're going to add at the bottom in order to get to the point where we can extend again? Courtney, what do you think we're going to add? From the apex to the finish, we're going to flex our legs, okay? So if we've gone all the way to the apex and we've extended, actually time out. I think I might add this just so I'd probably just do a run out and then do the bottom of the turn. Well, let's just try it in turn. Okay, here. Alright, so from the apex to the finish, if I've extended all the way to this point with the outside leg, if I'm coming here and I'm going to be medium flexed on both legs, I have to start flexing this leg as I steer it against me through the end of the turn. Okay? So up there we talked a little bit about how we enter the turn. We need to have steered into that countered relationship, so that same thing needs to be true down here. And then we also need to keep flexing all the way through the finish. So by doing this, we're able to appropriately edge the ski, and you'll realize that at the bottom of the turn, we don't have as high of an edge angle as we might have otherwise if we were just skiing like we normally do. So, Vanna, do you want to go down a little bit and Alright, so cool. So we're just able to come down here and did a level 2 one side ski, wow. We did the level 2 one ski tax. Alright, and so we were able to, I like the way everybody came down and was able to meter their extension and flexion as they're coming through the turn. So what I want to do now is I want to incorporate the other leg. And so if you kind of like pretend like you had a box like this, if everybody remembers the show American Gladiators. And so we've got like Gladiator 1, which is over here in this corner. We've got Gladiator 2, that's over in this corner. And so if I'm going through, I'm going to do a left turn. Gladiator 1, which I'll say is going to be this leg, is going to push Gladiator 2 through the turn. So I go, as I'm entering the turn, as I extend here, I'm going to drive this leg into this cuff of the boot. So I'm extending into 10 o'clock here. I'm going to push this leg into 10 o'clock here. Okay? So what that's going to mean is that in order to do that, I'm going to have to keep this ankle a little bit more closed. I'm going to have to keep it articulated and underneath me so that as I extend, I'm actually extending into the cuff. So I'll feel equal cuff pressure on both of these cuffs here. What I'm trying to combat is a tendency that some people have to just want to get on this edge all by itself and just alleviate all the pressure off of this ski and just ride through the turn on this edge. So I want to scribe 2 clean arcs in the snow this way. I'll do that with some railroad turns. So just like we were talking about it there with the stance, as we're moving, if I extend like this, I need to maintain that similarity of balance over both my feet. So I need to make sure that as much as this foot's leading, I'm also leading with this hand in order to maintain my balance over the inside foot. Okay? So I'm going to ski away from you here. I'm going to do a couple of these, and all I want you to do is I just want you to think about as you extend into the turn that you are pushing through the inside ski cuff. Okay, I'm going to raise my hand to give you just an idea of what I'm talking about with the inside ski cuff. So my first turn is going to be a left turn. Okay, so as we just did there, we're playing around with the idea that in order to maintain equal angles of the edging, we had to also maintain our equal ankle angles at the same time. So we can go through, we can just do some railroad track turns here. And so as you're doing these, just focus on being really equal about if you're going from edge to edge. As I roll my buckles, I'm going to go from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, all the way across the fronts of my boots. And I'm not going to lose pressure on either of those, especially the inside one. That's what we're really focused on here, is keeping that inside ankle closed so that we can maintain our cuff contact on the inside leg. Okay, so let me go down about 50 feet on the pitch. So one place where we can also take this is into our one ski skiing. So the same edging movements apply, timed at the same extension movements, so that we're actually shaping the top of the turn, allowing the ski to shape so that we can complete the turn. The chimpanzee. Alright, so let's go over to this bridge. You can just leave it running. So we'll just do a series of turns here, one ski turns. So only on the one ski. We're not doing the one ski level 2. We're doing a level 3 one ski task. And so what we've talked about here, we talked about rolling the buckles timed with the extension and the flexion. Extending happens from the transition to the apex, and flexion happens from the apex to the finish. And that we allow counter to develop as we finish the turn. So the kind of those three things we've built on here, we can take into our one ski skiing here as we go down from here to the lip. So I'll do some of those. All right. Alright, so basically as we came down here, it seemed like we focused a lot on alignment and extension and flexion, which can be kind of perceived as like pressure control skills, but really what my idea of how a lot of us can improve our edging skills is by staying in alignment through the top of the turn, and which involves kind of this perpetuation of like starting the turn in alignment, finishing the turn in alignment, allowing the skis to steer against you, so that as you go and you edge the ski, you're edging and shaping, not just edging and riding. So hopefully this helped.